Yo, Jets Nation, what is good? Welcome back to another Jets Media live stream. And today I want to focus in on, are the New York Jets actually going to trade for Aaron Rodgers? Because all we see is Aaron Rodgers being linked to the Jets after they hire Nathaniel Hackett. We're also going to be joined by my buddy Jack later on in the stream to get his thoughts of the New York Jets hiring Nathaniel Hackett and the potential of Aaron Rodgers, of course. And yeah, I just want to give you guys my thoughts of what you all think about what's going on. Because, I mean, the entire NFL world is talking about the New York Jets right now getting Aaron Rodgers. And it's like kind of annoying. And I'm part of it, right? I'm part of the people that are talking about Aaron Rodgers to the Jets. But it is just annoying just because it didn't happen. And if it doesn't happen, it's going to be very disappointing. And that's really the point of this stream I wanted to talk about with you guys, is that we're at the stage right now where we hired Hackett. Everybody's saying this would be a bad hire if we do not land Aaron Rodgers. And there's a lot of things about Nathaniel Hackett that will make you feel not as good as about him. It would make you feel good about him. There's some positives, there's some negatives, of course. And the reason why I'm okay with the hire of Nathaniel Hackett is just because of the guys that we were interviewing, other coordinators that we were potentially bringing in. He just felt like the guy that made the most sense out of all of those candidates. Now, is Nathaniel Hackett the next, great offensive coordinator in the league that's going to get a head coaching job in the future? Probably not, simply because he just had a head coaching job, and we all know how that went. He's simply, hopefully, going to be a very good coordinator for the Jets, but never a head coach. But that's okay, because we did not hire him to be a head coach. We hired him to be able to instill an offense and develop a run game and develop the quarterback of Zach Wilson on top of bringing in a veteran quarterback. We know that the New York Jets are bringing in a veteran. Robert Saleh talked to the media yesterday, and he made it obvious that we are getting a freaking veteran quarterback. So the question is, who is it going to be? And if it's not Aaron Rodgers, who else? Is it Derek Carr? Is it Lamar? We will find out. So shout out to everybody in the chat. Hope you guys are having a fantastic Friday. If you could do me a solid, hit that thumbs up button on your way in. Jack Talks Jets says, after the Hackett hire, I think they have a good chance at A-Rod. If the Jets don't get A-Rod, it will be the most Jets thing ever. And that's a fact. That's the scary part about this, Jack, is it feels like we're doing this to get Rodgers. And knowing how close Robert Saleh is with Matt LaFleur, there's no way that he doesn't know if Rodgers would be available or not. Saleh speaks to Matt LaFleur, not Mike, every day, once a week. They're very close. They go back. They were the best men at each other's weddings. I mean, they are very close. So I would assume that Saleh probably has a relationship with LaFleur to the point where he's like, hey, listen, man, are you going to stick with Rodgers this year? Are you going to roll with Jordan Love? If so, can you guys trade him to us? We'll give you whatever you want. Right? So I think that the New York Jets, and if you look at it from Hackett's perspective, why would Nathaniel Hackett, after being fired by the Denver Broncos, after being financially stable for the next couple of years, after having a fully guaranteed contract with the Broncos, why would he go right back into coaching with a team that doesn't have a plan at quarterback? Like, I don't think Nathaniel Hackett wants to worry about a mid-tier level quarterback in an offense. For example, like a Ryan Tannehill or a Minshew or all these other veteran quarterbacks or Jimmy Garoppolo, which is still likely, by the way. I just feel like Hackett, the way they sold it to him, and even though Saleh didn't say this, but he definitely could be lying, that we have a plan. And we want to bring A-Rod to the Jets. I spoke to people, and I'm just saying maybe this is what Saleh said to him. I spoke to people in the Green Bay organization. They're going to be trading him to us. Now come to the Jets, and let's go. So I have no idea what to expect, man. It really is hard to predict this stuff. And we'll see, man. Hennessy says, I'll tell you what's looking good, that Hackett's bank account. Yeah. I mean, this man is getting paid from the Broncos still on top of what the Jets, whatever the contract they're giving him. Only the Jets gravitate to lottery team to hire a coach. Just hope Peyton's still available in 24. We don't need this energy, Kev. Come on. Come on, baby. Come on. Ponderous Rodgers having all the time in the world in Packerland. Listen, man. I I just feel like it makes way too much sense to make it to take a swing on Aaron Rodgers. If you look at all the offensive weapons around this town around him, why would you not go out there and bring that man to the New York Jets? Because there's not a lot of young quarterbacks that's available. Lamar Jackson feels like a pipe dream. Derek Carr, he's available, right? So that's an option, but Derek Carr is not familiar with this style of offense, and it's more of a quick rhythmic style of offense that Derek Carr would have to learn. Where Aaron Rodgers and even Jimmy Garoppolo, they get the system. They're not going to have to relearn anything. They are familiar with it, which is a very big deal, by the way. And for the people that like are concerned about Aaron Rodgers because he's up there in age, that's true. And I know Aaron Rodgers is not Tom Brady, but Tom Brady had like his best career seasons at the age Aaron Rodgers is right now with the Patriots at 39, 40, 41. And that's not guaranteed like, oh, well, that means Aaron Rodgers is going to do what Brady does. No, they're two different players. But age is just a number, man. When you're a quarterback that takes care of your body like Aaron Rodgers does, I think that's like one of the only positions that you get better with age, because the more you age, the more knowledge you get. And the quarterback position is all about the mind, baby. All about the mind. Obviously, you need some athleticism. You need some mobility. But speaking of Tom Brady, he's literally the greatest player of all time. Was it because of Tom Brady's mobility? Was it because of his escapability in the pocket? No. It was his awareness in the pocket. It was his footwork in the pocket. And it was all above the shoulders. It was the mind. So Aaron Rodgers, at this stage of his career, he's mastered the game of football. He knows where his reads are. We don't have to worry about all those things that we keep nitpicking about Zach Wilson, where you get an established veteran quarterback. So that's why you want to get someone that's old, because we want to win right now. This is a win now move, and the Jets are in a position to go win right now. Now, how much would we win? That's up for debate. We can even miss the playoffs for all I know, or we can get into the playoffs and we can go make a run. Aaron Rodgers, by the way, was back-to-back MVP 2020, 2021, and then this past season was the one season without Nathaniel Hackett, by the way. He went to crap. He was playing with a broken thumb. He didn't really have connection with the young receivers, and thing went distraught for the Green Bay Packers, right? So my point is, I think that Aaron Rodgers still can play at an MVP level. And we as a Jets fan base need to understand the mediocrity that we are accustomed to at the quarterback position, where I'm like, how can we not want Aaron Rodgers? We have suffered through awful, awful quarterback play literally my personal entire life. I mean, I'm about to turn 25 years old. I don't know what a good quarterback looks like on the Jets. I've never experienced it. I've experienced Ryan Fitzpatrick in 2015. That was cool. That was fun. Mark Sanchez, right? Okay. Chad Pennington was when I was really young. Solid. But we've never had a Brett Favre. That was a great year, right? 8-3, and then he gets hurt. But the point is, man, the way that this Jets team is really wired with the coaching staff, with year 3 going into this system of defense, and the way they're constructed, man, I just feel like this is the first time I can say with confidence that we are ready to win. But we're not going to win anything without a freaking quarterback. So we need to freaking get Aaron Rodgers, because if we don't, what's the plan? If it's Derek Carr, I'd be okay with that. But when it comes to the system, I'm way more comfortable with Aaron Rodgers. We're going to have to start talking about Jimmy Garoppolo a little more, because I think that is a very likely option as a fallback of Aaron Rodgers because of the familiarity with the system. Now, am I a fan of Jimmy Garoppolo? No, I'm not. I'll be honest with you. If we get Jimmy Garoppolo, I'd be like, all right, we got our veteran quarterback. He's a quarterback that's been to Super Bowl. He went to the NFC Championship last year, and he's a quarterback that can win. You can win with. But he's no Aaron Rodgers. So that's where you balance the situation. So that's why in the stream I made the title, Will the New York Jets trade for Aaron Rodgers after hiring Nathaniel Hackett? Because you cannot turn on ESPN or any national media outlet and not see the every single person say, oh, well, the Jets hired Nathaniel Hackett. That means they have to get Aaron Rodgers. So it's like, crap, pressure's on. Go get Aaron Rodgers. Like, what are we doing here if we don't get Aaron Rodgers? Now we're in this limbo stage of like, are we going to get Aaron Rodgers or is this all for nothing? Like, let's freaking go, man. It's sickening, man. It's sickening. All right, so we got my buddy Jack backstage who's going to join and give his thoughts of the hiring Nathaniel Hackett and the pursuit of Aaron Rodgers. We haven't heard from him since the Jets hired Nathaniel Hackett, obviously, which was yesterday. And we haven't really heard from him in terms of his thoughts of the Aaron Rodgers situation. So, guys, if you could do me a gigantic favor, hit that thumbs up button on your way into the show. And I do want to give a quick shout out to the sponsor of today's live stream, which is indeed Prize Picks. If you guys want to click the link down below in the description, you can use promo code JETSMedia to get a 100% deposit match up to $100. We got Championship Sunday right around the corner, couple of days away. You guys can win big on Prize Picks if you click the link down below in the description. For you guys who are not aware what Prize Picks is, it's simply a daily fantasy app that you can bet the over and under on certain player prop bets. You can make a little parlay. You can win some money. I've won a lot of money these past couple of weeks, and especially throughout the whole season on Prize Picks. So I do want to give a big time shout out to Prize Picks for sponsoring today's live stream. Again, guys, use my promo code JETSMedia, and they will match 100% of your first deposit up to $100. You deposit $50, you get $50 for free. $100 give you $100 for free. So again, thank you to Prize Picks for sponsoring today's show. With that being said, let's get into Jack joining in. There he is, the man, the myth, the Jack.
What up? How you doing, my friend?
We're doing well, man. We're doing well. You know, we're living high right now off the Knicks dub last night, for sure, still. But we're talking Jets today because we just hired our new offensive coordinator yesterday, Jack. You there, Jack? Some technical difficulties on Jack's end. All right. Well, as we wait for Jack to get his connection back, we'll see if he'll be able to join back in. There he is.
Yo.
What up?
Sorry, dude. I have no idea what just happened. My laptop just absolutely crapped out on me. I think it was because I was turning it on from being dead, and StreamYard was just sucking that battery, even with it being plugged in. So while the laptop is recharging, I'm on the phone. But
good.
Yeah. Oh, wait, this is weird. Now I'm looking at myself on my laptop. All right, here we go. All right, a couple more minutes on the laptop. But Nathaniel Hackett, Aaron Rodgers, thank you for having me on. Very excited to give my piece. You want to get to the super chat first, or?
Yeah, G Code says trade for Lance. Bang bang Niner gang quest for 6. I would not trade for Lance. No, thank you. But I appreciate the offer, my friend. Thank you for the $2.
Yeah, I don't know about Trey Lance either. Who knows? Now they got Brock Purdy in the mix.
We need an experienced quarterback that knows what he's doing, not someone that has. I'm sick of living for potential. I want production.
Exactly, and that kind of leads us right into it, man. So let's get into it. I think I totally agree with you. I think this is the first time in many years that I've really felt comfortable with the idea of the Jets going all in. You know, for a player that's going to cost, you know, a lot of money, even though Aaron Rodgers' contract is cheap for a quarterback, but still quarterbacks just get paid a lot of money in general. But I think, you know, we're in the roster's in a spot where we're going to go out and make a huge move. Obviously, Nathaniel Hackett just being hired as the offensive coordinator. I really haven't given my thoughts on that in general yet either. But first, just touching on this quarterback position. Obviously, the offensive coordinator had to come first. So we got that done, Nathaniel Hackett. And now it's looking like, and, you know, you guys let me know if you feel the same way. It's looking like, it feels to me that because we hired Hackett, now it would be a disappointment if the quarterback was anybody but Aaron Rodgers, you know? So I feel like that's just a little bit of a dangerous place that we as Jet fans now find ourselves in. But my thoughts on the quarterback, honestly, has been changing on a daily basis. Yesterday, I was, you know, obviously once we immediately found out that we had signed Nathaniel Hackett, I was instantly thinking, damn, does this mean Aaron Rodgers is about to be our quarterback? I had mixed feelings about it. Today, I'm just thinking this better happen, man. I mean, this needs to happen. Who are Jets fans to be picky in any sort of way when it comes to quarterbacks? I mean, to any player, but especially the quarterback position in general, which the Jets struggle with year in and year out throughout basically my entire lifetime. Who are we to be picky, man, with a player of Aaron Rodgers caliber? Yes, he's at the end of his career. Yes, he's a little banged up. Yes, he did not look like the same player this year. But if he comes to New York with pairing up with his old friend Nathaniel Hackett, who has been a part of many successful offenses in the NFL, um, combined with Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, healthy offensive line, Elijah Moore. I think that, I mean, who knows how Aaron feels about the Jets? I don't know if it would be a match made in heaven for Aaron Rodgers in his mind, but as a Jets fan, dude, I mean, you couldn't ask for anything more awesome than that. So I'm fully on the Aaron Rodgers hype train because you got to be. Like I said, who are we to be picky? And you can nitpick any of the quarterback options: Lamar, Derek Carr, Jimmy Garoppolo, Aaron Rodgers. Any of these veteran options obviously have their pros and their cons. But I mean, really, we just gotta, face reality and say we have been sorry as hell at the quarterback spot for way too long. And now
That's
is the
being
time
nice
where we
about
just
it.
have to make a big move.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man, this is the time to make the big move, and that's what we're going to be talking about until the big move happens. Shout out to the NY Bully with the $10 super chat. Appreciate you, my guy. This is a loyal subscriber here, supports the Jets on the AFC East Roundtable, and of course here on Jets Media. So big shout out to NY Bully. I would trade up. I would trade up to 2 first-round picks for Aaron Rodgers and try to draft Stetson Bennett in the second round. Bennett may be older, but he has really good ball placement and pocket escape ability. Thoughts? Now that's interesting. Stetson Bennett, I don't think he's projected to go that high. He is coming off a national title, right? He just won the championship with Georgia. He's an older quarterback, but I don't think the Jets are going to invest in a quarterback high because I genuinely think that they have a lot of faith in Zach Wilson still, especially if you get Aaron Rodgers, because Aaron Rodgers is a quarterback that can be a really good beneficial mentor for Zach Wilson. So I don't know. They could still draft the quarterback, no doubt about it, but I don't know if getting Bennett in the second round makes a whole lot of sense personally, but we'll see, man. If they give up 2 first-round picks for Aaron Rodgers, I prefer them in the second round to get like an offensive lineman or some offensive weapon to help out Aaron Rodgers rather than draft his potential replacement later on in the future for sure. But I appreciate the donation, man. It's always good to think hypothetical wise. And I think Bennett's not going to go in the second round probably.
We'll see
Yeah.
how.
So what do you say?
I said we'll see how it goes. Very
Yeah,
interesting.
the draft is going to be very, very interesting, man. I'm excited to get deeper into the draft. And who knows if the Jets will even have their pick. Hopefully, if we do trade for Rodgers, it's not this year's first. Let's trade future first. So let's keep our first round pick this year. Let's get an offensive tackle in the building, right? But nah, in all, let's just go get Aaron Rodgers, whatever it freaking costs, man. Now let's break down this Aaron Rodgers situation, Jack, a little more in detail because everybody has the Jets getting Aaron Rodgers. So say they do land him. I mean, what is the upside? I mean, what is the expectations with Aaron Rodgers? Because the expectations for the season is going to be the biggest expectations I think our fan base has ever encountered. Like, we've never had a playoff mandate. Even going into this season, we're like, we're not going to make the playoffs, but let's hope that we're making strides and we're not tanking and we're playing meaningful games in December. That's pretty much exactly what happened, but we just lost all those games in December, so it felt like crap. But with Aaron Rodgers, the expectations is nothing short of the playoffs and potentially winning the freaking AFC East, right? So if you bring in Aaron Rodgers and you got all these players with Breece Hall coming back, Garrett Wilson, I think, could be a top 5 receiver with Aaron Rodgers. Elijah Moore, don't sleep on Denzel Mims potentially. And you cut Corey Davis, you free up some money to get another receiver somewhere. Who knows where, whether that's a draft or elsewhere. You got Conklin still. You got Uzama, you got Ruckert coming back from year number 2, which I really hope they use him a little bit more. And then you're going to have to beef up the offensive line. And not to mention this freaking defense that's only going to get better Year 2 of the cornerback trio of Sauce, DJ Reed, and Michael Carter II. We got Quinnen Williams coming off a dominant breakout season. We got year 2 of Jermaine Johnson and Michael Clemens, and I think those two players are going to get even better next year. We got the Pro Bowler and the captain, CJ Mosley, running the show, and we'll see what happens with Quan and Quincy. Hopefully they'll get brought back, and there'll probably be some revolving doors, new changes at safety, but there's expectations for the defense to get better. And with Aaron Rodgers, the offense, all they got to do is be average. And I think that we are a playoff team and we can potentially win the AFC East. So, Jack, say we do get Aaron Rodgers. What's your personal expectations for the team heading into next season? Obviously, without knowing all the other offseason moves that we would make.
I mean, you're absolutely right. I agree with everything you just said. At a bare minimum, obviously, I mean, not even at a bare minimum, obviously playoffs. We need to make the playoffs next year, regardless of who our quarterback is, with how close we were this year.
If we had a quarterback this year, guess what? We're in the playoffs. Like, that's not a bold take, by the way. It's like basically factual if you look at this.
Yeah. So, I mean, playoffs next year, regardless of who our quarterback is, number one. But if it's Aaron Rodgers, and being paired up with Nathaniel Hackett is another big thing as well.
I want to see MVP.
It's got to be the AFC East for sure.
No doubt. And Jack, I think you and I could both agree. Like, I'm not afraid of the Buffalo Bills. I think this is the year, the first year, like this past season, we went into the year like, yeah, the Bills are probably going to win the division. But like this season, I think the division's wide open. I'm not just saying for the Jets to take. I think the Dolphins are going to get better. I think the Patriots, had a great offensive coordinator hire. I think they're going to get better. And I think the Bills are going to be a little worse with the Jets getting better as well. I think this is like a wide open AFC East this season that the Jets could potentially win with Aaron Rodgers. And of course, the other teams getting better because Josh Allen's contract is going to kick in and they got a lot of pending free agents. And Josh Allen obviously looks like a quarterback that cannot rely on being Superman because he's a human being. He is Superman at times, but you can't rely on that. And we beat the freaking Bills with Zach Wilson, and we have a defense that can fluster that man. So I'm not afraid of that team.
Those 2 losses to New England will, have burned permanent holes into my soul. But we overall, we played pretty good against the division this year. Although we only got 2 wins, if you look at all the games, none of them were too out of reach at any point. So, I think that next year you make a good point with what's going on with all the other teams in our division. The Bills, yet another year of the Bills floundering in the playoffs. I love it. I think the division is absolutely wide open next year. I think we're going to get better. Obviously, every team is looking to improve every offseason, so we can't assume we're the only team in the division that's going to get better. But we're 100% going to, get better this offseason, get better talent in the building. I'm very excited for free agency and the draft process right around the corner. We're in a very exciting time now. Obviously, we got the veteran quarterback search. We're going to be an improved team that's, hungry to make a statement in a division that's going to be super tight, but, up for grabs. I think the Bills have, obviously we'll see what happens, but, I think right now it certainly looks like the Bills have been a little dethroned and, maybe not within the division, but definitely within the conference, obviously. I think it's still the Buffalo Bills division to lose for sure, but I think, we're going to, it's up to Joe Douglas to, like I said, assemble some more talent and, it's up for the taking, man. It's going to be tight, but it's anyone's game for who's going to win the AFC East.
It is anyone's game. And then you look at the AFC right now. We got the AFC Championship this Sunday. Joe Burrow versus Patrick Mahomes. How do we beat those 2 quarterbacks? Oh, well, you get a quarterback that has an ability to go toe-to-toe with them. And I know Aaron Rodgers is not in the prime of his career like Mahomes or Burrow is. And you can argue that Burrow's not in his prime because he's very young still. He's probably only going to get better and better. But when it comes to the veteran quarterback role, And I said this earlier, Jack, before you hopped on the stream, because a lot of people are worried about Aaron Rodgers' age, which of course they should be, right? When you're older quarterback, assuming you're a little quote unquote washed up. But if you think about it in this way, I think the quarterback position is a position where you get better with age because you gain more knowledge, you gain more experience. Because a quarterback is all about your mind, it's all about processing things, and it's all about mastering your reads and stuff. And I feel like if you look back, and I brought a Tom Brady as an example, I know Rodgers and Tom Brady are two different players, and Brady's the GOAT, but Tom Brady had one of his best seasons, if not the best seasons of his career at 39 years old and 40 years old with the Patriots. Now, again, he's not Tom Brady, but I feel like at this stage of his career, you got to realize that quarterbacks, just because they're up there in age, they're like as wise and as good as you'll get mentally. The only things you worry about is the physical mishaps. Is he gonna lose a step of his athleticism? Because Aaron Rodgers, what makes him a great quarterback and a future Hall of Famer is his ability to like make things happen off schedule, rolling to his right, rolling to his left, avoiding pressure. So is he going to lose a step? And that's definitely something you got to think about. So as a quarterback as Aaron Rodgers, Jack, obviously we don't need to break down how good he is as a quarterback, but what's your comfort level of taking a swing at a guy that age, especially if it's like a win now move for 1 to 2 years?
It's definitely something to think about. Getting Aaron Rodgers would definitely have its pros and cons, and one of the cons being, the draft capital we would have to give up in a trade to get a player like Aaron Rodgers. We wouldn't be able to draft a stud offensive tackle in the first round. Who knows how the offensive line is going to look, without a first round draft pick this year. Obviously we have to trust in Joe Douglas to get the job done. But that's definitely something we have to think about with an aging quarterback who's not, as mobile as he used to be. Mobility used to be a huge part of Aaron Rodgers' game, not so much in a, scrambling for yard sense, but as you said, making things happen, extending plays and, finding a spot to put the ball at. Will Aaron Rodgers still be able to do that at a high level? I hope so. We got Mekhi Becton coming back. We got Elijah Vera-Tucker coming back. We'll see what happens with Connor McGovern. We'll see what happens with the other guard and the other tackle spot. But that's a big question mark. You got two and a half solid question marks on the offensive line right now. And, that's assuming that Mekhi Becton is coming back and being, a good player and staying healthy. So you got more question marks than answers at the offensive line right now. So it's definitely something to think about when you're going for a guy like Aaron Rodgers. A guy like Derek Carr as well, who, is definitely known to throw picks under pressure. So, this is a big decision we have to make. And I think that, although Rodgers is a phenomenal player, getting him at this stage of his career, we really have to make sure that he's well protected. That's obviously going to be harder to do if we were to bring him in. So just something to think about.
Yeah, we heard from Robert Saleh yesterday, and he said that they're getting a veteran quarterback, which is really important to hear from Saleh just because it gives us clarity, like, okay, it's definitely happening, right? And he said that also in all the interviews that he had for the offensive coordinator role, he made it obvious. He made sure that he brought up Zach Wilson to the point where they want Zach Wilson to be treated like a player that's getting all the attention, just like any other one, even though that he's going to be the backup. Because the Jets want to develop Zach still, and they feel like there's still some type of untapped potential, and they want to do right by Zach as an individual. Maybe they develop him, and then he leaves the Jets organization. He's good somewhere else. I think that's where, who knows what Zach Wilson's future is, but I think that's also something important to hear from Robert Saleh. He also said that they're going to be aggressive to get a veteran quarterback, and they also said we're going to build this offensive line. He kept talking about the offensive line and said that they're going to attack the O-line. So it is pretty good to hear from Robert Saleh that the offensive line is a priority, because we as fans know it is, and it's good to hear that they agree with us, because the playmakers, Jack, it's like, wow, the playmakers are kind of set. Like, we don't need to touch the tight end.
No, they really are. They really are, dude. And obviously we have to, just pray on all these guys remaining healthy. Obviously Breece Hall was him going down was just an absolute killer. But if these guys can stay healthy, they're all young, they're all fresh, they're all on cheap deals.
I'm
Uh,
starting the Mims hive again right when Aaron Rodgers comes to the Jets. Denzel Mims, breakout season, baby. Come on. Let's
Dude,
go, baby.
I said it on the stream
Analyze more.
I said it on the stream a couple weeks back. I'm so willing to let Denzel Mims take on that wide receiver 3 role, because let's not forget how good Mims is as a blocker as well. And that's a big part of Corey Davis's game, and why Corey Davis is good when he's out there is his abilities as a blocker. So I think, Mims can be plugged right in there. One last shot to see what Mims has got in the tank with a good quarterback who knows what he's doing and good play calling. And who knows, maybe we have, 3 studs at the wide receiver
Through the
position.
draft. All 3 of them through the draft.
Yeah.
Because we've seen Joe Douglas draft a receiver in the first 2 rounds every single year. And it wouldn't put it past me, Jack, by the way, if he just does it again. And he's going to draft a receiver in the 2nd round this year. Or even the 1st round. Because the funny thing about Douglas is every offseason, every time we go into the draft, we're doing mock drafts like, oh, we're going to draft the linebacker. We're going to draft the safety. All these positions that we think they're holes. But Douglas is like, linebacker, safety. We're getting playmakers. We're getting Garrett Wilson at 10. We're trading up for Breece Hall. Screw all your mock drafts. And now Joe Douglas has, I'm learning him as a GM after going through 3 drafts with him, and he's drafted a receiver in the 1st or 2nd round every single season. So it seems like there's something about that, and I don't think it's anything bad about Mims, Moore, or Garrett, but I would not put it past the Jets to draft another receiver, whether it's probably, I would say, in the first 3 rounds, because we could be giving up on our 1st round pick. We need to go offensive line. There's some people wanting to draft a receiver in the 1st round because we're so hungry for playmakers, but it's all about the trenches, baby. It's all about the freaking trenches.
I agree.
The NY Bully, $5, says the way that AR almost willed his team into a playoff spot by turning up in the 2nd half of the season proves that he's still really him. Yeah, bro. Anybody that says Aaron Rodgers is old and washed up, no, you're completely wrong. You have to. He literally won back-to-back MVP awards, Jack. Before,
He did.
literally, not this past season, but the season before, MVP. The season before that, MVP.
Yep.
And what's a continuity? What's something that's similar there? Oh, the 1 year that Nathaniel Hackett's not there, he's not MVP. Interesting. The NY Bully, though, let him know. Aaron Rodgers is ready to play. And also, this is not an excuse. This is the reality of the situation. Aaron Rodgers broke his thumb. He was playing with the thumb injury. He got hurt against the Giants. And that was week number 5. And then we actually versed the Packers the next week. And that was the first game that Rodgers had that injured thumb. And we didn't know about that at the time because Rodgers didn't want anybody to know. He's wanted to play through it. We found out later on in the season that he had an injured thumb. So that could have had an issue. He also didn't have Devontae Adams last year, right? He was relying on a rookie, Christian Watson. He was relying on Dobbs. I mean, his playmakers weren't as good. And, hey, I think our playmakers are better than what the Packers had last year. And we know what Rodgers can do with the stud star receiver like a Devontae Adams. So imagine what he can do with freaking Garrett Wilson, who's also, by the way, number 17. Come on.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that would be an incredible, connection, Rodgers to Wilson.
Oh, my God. I can't. Top 5 receiver, book it. Literally book it.
Absolutely. No, I mean, literally 100%. And I wanted to address something real quick, if you don't mind, because I saw it a bunch on Twitter and I'm seeing it on here as well. There's a lot more people than I thought that are upset about Robert Saleh's comments, upset that Robert Saleh came out and said, we're looking to pursue a veteran quarterback, thinking that now we're going to get fleeced by a team because we've put it so openly that we're looking for a veteran quarterback. Joe Douglas is not just going to roll over and say, oh, yeah, Saleh said that. So, yeah, here's 4 first-round picks for whoever. No. Joe Douglas is not paying more than any player's worth. So, I mean, you put those worries aside, but I was just seeing that a lot, and it was just irking me a little bit. It was just kind of
the whole world knew that we were doing that. It's not like breaking news. The Jets are looking for a veteran quarterback. Duh.
Yeah, it's like, what's Saleh supposed to say? First of all, I mean, obviously, yes.
I'm happy he said that. It gives us clarity because there's a lot of times where that doesn't give the fan base clarity.
100%. I mean, Robert Saleh's doing his job, and Joe Douglas is not going to overpay for more than a player's worth. We've not seen him do that.
once.
as a, at all, pretty much
We've never
as a
seen
Jets
Joe
general
Douglas
manager.
trade as a buyer. I mean, besides James Robinson, you can say, but like he's never traded for a player where you have to sacrifice capital. It's usually trading away a player to get the capital. So, and also another thing, reason why I'd be okay with trading. Look at all the capital that he's built, right? To be able to get both Sauce and Garrett in the first round, to be able to get both Zach Wilson and Elijah Vera Tucker in the first round, to be able to get Breece Hall, Jermaine, all these players, like all the draft picks that he was able to build, it gives me more comfort to sacrifice some picks because of all the picks that he got. We have multiple first 2 years in a row. So it's like, all right.
Yes, I mean, and how tired are we talking about how much draft capital we have and how next year the roster is going to be insane, and the year after that it's going to be we have this, and the year after that we have this many picks. Let's use these picks for an elite
actual quarterback
and
that will
win,
be the best
and
quarterback
win,
in
and go to
franchise
the
history.
playoffs. Yes, like let's
Hennessy.
start winning games again and go to the playoffs instead of, oh my God, we're gonna have so many picks, in 2 years from now. Who gives a shit if we're sitting through miserable year after miserable year? Let's do something to change that and win some games. But sorry, Hennessy's the boy.
No,
Let's
it's
get
true.
to his super chat.
It's true, man. We hit on all those, not all of them, but we used all those capital, and it was great to have it, and we hit home runs. So Hennessy says Jets media draft party this offseason. Well, I am interested in actually doing this, Hennessy.
I would love that.
So everybody in the chat, if you're interested in a potential Jets Media Day draft party, well, let me know because I am in the works of organizing it. Well, I haven't really done anything yet, but it's been in my mind about it. The vision would be, this is obviously not happening for sure, but I'm thinking about it, potentially going to a bar on Long Island and asking them if they'd be open to collaborating on an event. And I go live from the bar, and you guys can come and be part of the stream and all watch the draft together. That's a goal. So if you'd be interested, keep your notifications on or whatever on the channel and on Twitter, because I'll keep you guys all updated. It'll be on Long Island for anybody that's not from Long Island. Sorry, you're gonna have to come all the way over there. And I also don't want to like plan this until I know if we even have a pick, because we could be trading our pick, right? So it's like,
yeah.
Then it's like, who would people still want to do a draft party? I mean, it's still fun. I mean, we'll get to watch everybody else pick, but we're going to be left out.
It's like people asking. It's like back in like November, people asking to make plans in like January on a weekend. It's like, I don't know. Jess could be in the playoffs. I'll have to let you know.
Yeah, literally. Oh my gosh.
And then of course we lose all those, all those late season games. But I had to let this guy know. You guys know I'm a musician. I had to let somebody know. I had to wait like 3 weeks to let him know if I could do a gig. Because I'm like, I don't know, the Jets might be in the playoffs, and then we got stomped out by the Jaguars at home on Thursday night. I'm like, I can do the gig.
Yeah. I got invited to something on a weekend, and I said, I can't let you know if I can go, actually, because the Jets could be in the playoffs, and then the Jaguars game happened, and I'm like, yep, I can be there.
Yep.
We'll see. I'll let you guys know. I see some people are definitely interested. Shout out to Terry Lee becoming a member of Jets Media. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. A
lot of people saying they'd be down.
Yeah, we got everyone. I'd be down. Count me in. I'd be down, Richie. Yes. Let's go. Well, I can't really plan this until we know if we're even drafting, right?
Yeah, we got to know, obviously, the situation for the first round. Because if we get Aaron Rodgers, which this whole stream has been dedicated to talking about, we won't be. So,
or unless Joe Douglas can pull off magic and trade away our second round pick this year and then package that up with next year's first, so we can keep the first that we have this year. Come on, Joe Douglas, get Aaron Rodgers and let's keep our 13th overall pick. That's a very important
pick. Now you're sweet talking me.
That's very unrealistic. But like Joe Douglas has done crazy stuff before, right?
He has, yo.
A second and a first. A second this year and a first next year. Throw in another third. I don't care.
Dude, he's been known to finesse. He's been known to pull off wizard-like moves.
We need a draft day party.
We'll see what he's got up his sleeve this year. Draft day party would be sick. So
I also want to do a lot of more events, guys. Jets Media Day was like the first event that I've ever hosted, and it went so well, and that's going to happen again next year. But I also want to do stuff in the offseason, and I talked to Jack about this, even like for free agency or something fun where like just a pop-up off-season like thing, like at a bar or something, and I say, hey, we're gonna do a pop-up Jets live stream over here at this location. You guys can all come and you can watch it live, and then we can hang out. And because I want to get more interactive with you guys, like I love the chat. Don't get me wrong, but I'm kind of sick of just seeing you guys, your little profile pictures, your little names. Like I want to see your faces. I want in person. I want to talk.
We need
Jets
some
and
human interaction.
yeah, human interactions, be more social. And I want to bring the Jets community together because the offseason is long and we don't get any chances to see each other in the offseason because there's no games to attend. There's no training camp to go to. So I kind of want to bring Jets fans together so we can all get hyped and start our, delusional takes that we're going all the way. That's fun. That's what this is all about, right? Like
it's going to happen, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, there's nothing like that feeling in the parking lot before opening day when you haven't won a game, you haven't lost a game, the whole season's in front of you. That's the type of feeling I'm waiting for again, and that's what we'll get on draft day. So let's definitely try and make something happen. We'll see what the Jets draft situation is, but let's definitely, we're definitely trying to hang out with all you guys.
Yeah, and like if you guys have like hate to throw my way, you can do it in person. Come up to my face and say it to me in person, and I'll be like, "Yeah, good looks. I appreciate that. Like I see that. That'd be sick." That would be maybe cool. We can get some fun things connected to it, where you can get. I don't know. I'm just thinking off the top of my head. You can enter a raffle for a signed jersey of some sort. Maybe Sauce will come join us. Come on, Sauce, pull up. I mean, why wouldn't he come? He's a nice guy, right?
Sauce will be there, confirmed. So make sure you guys buy tickets and Venmo Rich the money, and
it's going to be sponsored by Buffalo Wild Wings. All the wings will be covered by them, and it's going to be with the sauce, and drinks on me, and
drinks on Buffalo Wild Wings, and it's going to be a
push on Jack.
Maybe. You never know. You never know.
Oh my gosh, that would be great. Now you really got me thinking about I should start planning this because now I'm like, holy crap, I got to plan this now if I want to do this. But stay tuned, man. We'll figure this out. But yeah, this stream is about if the Jets are actually going to trade for Aaron Rodgers. One question I do want to ask the chat: if we don't get Aaron Rodgers, what's plan B? And I think the easy answer to that is Derek Carr. But outside of Derek Carr, there's other guys like Lamar Jackson to keep an eye on. But there's another name that I think this Nathaniel Hackett hiring is likely. I don't think it's my personal favorite, but I'm just saying it's likely if Aaron Rodgers stays with Green Bay or he goes somewhere else. That's Jimmy Garoppolo. Because Jimmy Garoppolo has a familiarity with the scheme that we are implementing, the West Coast style. Derek Carr, for example, he does not have any familiarity with the scheme, so he'd be coming here learning a new system, whereas Jimmy Garoppolo has this scheme. He knows it very well, just like Aaron Rodgers. So, Jack, if the Jets got Jimmy Garoppolo, obviously we're not as excited as other quarterbacks, but how would you feel about that if they signed him? And you also don't have to give up any draft capital for Jimmy G either. So say, for example, we miss out on A-Rod. He stays in Green Bay. We tried to get him, but we just couldn't bring him in for whatever reason. And then they settle with Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I would not be super thrilled. He's definitely, out of Aaron Rodgers, Derek Carr, Lamar Jackson, Jimmy Garoppolo, Jimmy's the easy, fourth best option there. But listen, man, that it frees us up to use all of our draft capital, and solidify an offensive line, get a stud offensive tackle, whatever we plan on doing in the first round, and the additional draft capital that it would take besides just first round pick to bring in Aaron Rodgers. It would definitely, change up the expectations. I don't think that's a good thing, though. I mean, I think if we had the way I'm looking at it,
like if we had Jimmy G this past season, if he was healthy for all 17 games, we're in the playoffs. I don't know if we do anything in the playoffs, but I think we'd be in the playoffs.
Listen, man. I mean, sign me up. Like I said at the beginning of the stream, we really can't afford to be picky. Obviously, we're going to try to get the best player we can. But if it doesn't work out with Aaron Rodgers, doesn't work out with Derek Carr, Lamar Jackson gets re-signed, I think you gotta make a push for the next best available guy, and that's.
Did you hear the news of Mike LaFleur today, where he got hired?
I did not.
He is the new offensive coordinator for the Rams.
Wow.
Yeah.
The
So
Rams.
that was the opportunity that presented himself, because the way the Jets let him go, they said it like other teams reached out to us to ask about his availability, and I think that was the Rams that reached out. And he's not going to be the play caller, obviously. That's Sean McVay's role, but he's going to be. And just speaking from like a Jets fan that is looking at Mike LaFleur, and I think that's the best thing for him personally, just like for him to get his feet right in the coaching room, because he doesn't have to worry about play calling or anything. He can learn behind like literally one of the best play callers in the game today in Sean McVay. So good for LaFleur, and I hope he figures it out. So obviously, thanks LaFleur for being asked for us, right? We don't have any positive things to say to you about that, but he was a first-time play caller, and Saleh gave him the role, and he just wasn't able to be the guy. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, he sucked ass for us and was horrible. Was terrible. And now he's gonna go and be with a brilliant guy like Sean McVay.
And now watch him actually become a head coach. Like we're like, LaFleur to be a head coach one day. Like now watch him
I mean, that was my first thought. I mean, he's going to the Sean McVay school of the modern NFL offense. I mean, obviously the Rams had their Super Bowl hangover this year, but in order to get a Super Bowl hangover, you have to first win a Super Bowl. So Sean McVay is without a doubt still one of the top coaches in the game. There's been a lot of speculation about Sean McVay's future with the Rams and with being a head coach in general, though. So
yeah, he's coming
who knows?
back.
He's definitely coming back. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, who knows? Who knows how the future is going to look for that team? But yeah, whatever. Later, LaFleur.
Later, LaFleur.
Good luck.
Riddance. Good riddance. Good luck to you.
Yeah, it did not work out. We were very hopeful. I wish it obviously
like he does have potential as a play caller. The one thing I will say about LaFleur that kind of I did like was he was very creative when he wanted to be. Like the trick plays, it didn't really work as much this year. It's kind of like his first year where he had those like double passes and like some trick plays when they worked, it was awesome. And then this year he tried it again and it just like was a mess. So try that out again. Maybe it'll work. Hopefully Hackett is. And that's the thing about Hackett, too, that some people are upset about Hackett. If you're upset about Hackett, think of it this way. It's an upgrade over Mike LaFleur. Case closed, okay? We got better. I don't know how much better, right? But out of all the options that we had on the table, Hackett was the right man for the job, and we will see. For all we know, this can get blown up, and the whole regime is gone next year, and we're looking for everything, all right? That's the worst-case scenario. But guess what? That's not going to freaking happen, so I'm not even going to say it because I don't want to speak that into existence. So, we're gonna wrap up the show here, guys.
Can I ask you a horrible question to end the stream? That's just gonna make you sick.
No.
What is your gut? No, I can't.
Go for it.
What does your gut tell you? Just your gut. And the chat, you guys answer this as well. Do we have the right head coach? Is Robert Saleh the right head coach?
See, listen, man. My gut tells me. Like Robert Saleh is like probably the first head coach that I've looked at personally. And I know a lot of you guys who disagree with this. That's okay. But he just speaks with a lot of like genuine. And you being genuine doesn't make you a great head coach, right? You got to know what you're doing. I mean, he's proven that his defense is elite, right? That box checked because his first year was last place. And we're like, why do we just hire a defensive minded coach and our defense is literally trash? So good thing we got players and the defense is top 5. So it's like, okay, the defense he's got under the mask. But when you look at Robert Saleh as the head coach, because what's the head coach's job, Jack? As we all know, you got to coach all 3 phases. You got to relate to the players, and you also got to be a good manager of the clock. Now, there were some times where Saleh didn't look good managing the clock, but I do think some people hold on to the bad mismanaging of the clock so much where they miss the times where he was perfect managing the clock earlier on in the year. And that is a thing that people need to realize. Did he have some mistakes? Absolutely. But you also got to bring up the game against the Buffalo Bills, the game against the Pittsburgh Steelers, the game against the Green Bay Packers. We won those games in the fourth quarter because of how he manipulated the clock with running the football and calling the timeouts properly. And you also got to bring up the other mess, the Detroit Lions, where he did not make the clock management properly. So he's still learning on the job. I am hopeful that Robert Saleh is the guy. I believe his vision. I think him and Joe Douglas are in lockstep in terms of the philosophy of football, building through the trenches, starting down in the trenches and running the football and establishing a run, because he brought up that Bengals game. He's like, how did the Bengals beat the Bills in the snow? They ran the football. They ran it down their throat. That's what we're trying to do here. And I believe in the philosophy. It's just a matter of the offensive line staying healthy, because we got Breece Hall and them staying healthy. So my gut tells me Robert Saleh is the guy, but he still has to prove it. He has not proved it to the point where I can say for sure, yeah, he's definitely the guy. But I will finish off with saying, yes, I believe in him.
I
I'm
think
hopeful.
based on the chat, I think most people agree with you. Some people saying no. I'm kind of leaning towards yes as well. But I'd be lying if I said I was 100% all in, sold. Robert Saleh is the guy. Where I struggle is just the offense in general. I think you need at least one solid. I mean, how many teams in today's NFL do we see that have head coaches that are offensive guys? The majority of the successful teams have offensive minded head coaches.
Yeah,
and we went defense with Robert Saleh, but we didn't go defense. We went rah and leadership and mentality with Robert Saleh. That's really what we did, But the offense worries me, because now it's kind of up to Nathaniel Hackett, who's going to be getting a lot of shit thrown his way if this offense looks bad. But at the end of the day, your head coach should be getting all that blame just as much,
because he hired him.
We need. I almost wish we could hire a second offensive coordinator.
Well, we actually are. We're hiring a senior assistant, so
that's good, because we need offense. We need veteran offensive minds in the building that know how to run an NFL offense.
Yeah,
because
we don't know who
trick
it is
plays
yet.
of Mike LaFleur are unsustainable. As cool as they may or may not have been when they worked. We need this. We need to run an NFL offense now. So that's my one worry with Robert Saleh, is that the offense is just going to remain in limbo. But we cannot afford to let that happen.
We need Rodgers, because he gives me the confidence of, like, it doesn't matter who our coordinator is with Rodgers. I mean, he is the coordinator. He is the coach. So, like, go get that man and let's go freaking do it. But we will get a senior assistant, like a consultant that was supposed to be Greg Knapp. The Jets did not elect to replace him this past season, which obviously was a mistake, because they didn't feel it was ethically right just to do that, because, rest in peace, Greg Knapp is way bigger than football. But now they're going to replace the Greg Knapp role with the senior advisor. And we don't know who that is yet, but that's going to be a big time move when it does happen. So, guys, we're going to wrap up the show here. Please do me a favor. If we can get to 100 likes by the time the stream is all wrapped up, that will mean a lot. We're at 73 likes with 152 you guys watching. I know there's a lot of you that did not hit the thumbs up, so do that right now. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you guys tuning into the show. Enjoy Championship Sunday. I'll be making some homemade wings at my crib. If anybody wants to come, pull up. And it's going to be a good time, man. Let's freaking, I don't know. I kind of like the Chiefs, but I do like the Bengals. I do like the Eagles, whatever. We'll see what happens. I got to go. I got an appointment at 4:00 I got to make. So we got to end the stream right now. Love you all. Let's freaking go, Jets. Smash that thumbs up button, and later.
Peace.